Tonight, searching for the missing. Hundreds of families hold out hope for their loved ones weeks after those devastating fires on Maui, as the FBI cautions some of those missing may never be found. Plus,
you have tourists taking pictures of the destruction in Lahaina while there's still bodies there. They're snorkeling off the waters while they're still pulling people out of the waters. It's extremely frustrating.
Tourism has been a driving force in Hawaii's economy, and now it's a lifeline to its economic survival. But for some still reeling from those fires, those very same tourists are at the focal point of frustrations as they look to rebuild and recover. We have that and more in tonight's Prime Focus. And
we just love to play, and you know, we love stepping on stage and seeing people's faces light up. I mean, you can't buy that.
They're a massive soft rock group that produced hit after hit. We sit down with the duo behind Air Supply in tonight's Prime Playlist. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jay O'Brien, in for Lindsay Davis. Thanks so much for streaming with us. We are following those stories and much more, including the deadly tornadoes slamming the Midwest, killing at least 5 people and leaving hundreds of thousands without power. Rob Marciano joins us to time it all out. Plus, the final 2 defendants appeared in Fulton County today, less than 24 hours after the former president made his way into the history books with that first ever criminal mugshot. What's next in the case? And it's the sweet smell of autumn for some, the pumpkin-filled caffeinated drink choice of many. It is back. Those who are celebrating this major milestone. Our correspondents are fanned out across the country covering those stories and more for us tonight. But we begin tonight with the dangerous and deadly storms from Michigan to the Northeast. We are tracking confirmed tornadoes in Michigan and Ohio. At least 8 tornadoes so far, including this EF1 tornado with winds up to 110 miles per hour near Grand Rapids, Michigan. The severe weather also producing dangerous lightning. At the height of the storm, about 1 million customers were without power. And tonight, another potential threat is now taking shape. Tropical Storm Franklin is moving closer to the East Coast as another system takes aim at the Gulf. Tens of millions of Americans are also under heat alerts headed into the weekend. Rob Marciano is tracking it all for us.
Tonight, hundreds of thousands of families and businesses without power after a deadly barrage of storms strikes multiple states.
There are some strong winds, and I'm hearing roaring right now.
In Michigan, our Grand Rapids affiliate WZZM broadcast live. You could hear the weather outside.
Like this is a very strong line of thunderstorms. If you're not in a place of safe shelter right now, you definitely need to be.
Northeast of there, tragedy on the roadway.
There was 2 vehicles traveling opposite, towards each other. One hydroplaned on water, and that was occupied by 4 people. Unfortunately, there was an adult female and 2 young children that were killed in that crash.
Lots of trees down. This is a strong tornado, guys.
On Interstate 96, southeast of Lansing, at least 1 person was killed. A tornado tearing across the interstate. 3 others seriously hurt. Back outside Grand Rapids,
we just grabbed the dogs and took cover.
Zach Comer and his wife, just back from a grocery run, riding out a different twister in their truck.
My wife said, "Oh my God." And the telephone lines, everything was just completely uprooted and gone. And then our truck started to shake, and we just kind of covered up, hoping that it would be okay.
They're okay, but their neighborhood and much of the region facing a big cleanup ahead.
Senior meteorologist Rob Marciano joins us now. Rob, you're tracking those storms plus those 2 tropical systems eyeing the coast. What can we expect?
Well, Jay, we've knocked down the heat at least after those storms moved through Detroit and Columbus and Chicago, but not for everybody. We still have a lot of excessive heat warnings. Places like Indianapolis to St. Louis to Kansas City and Dallas. Boy, you had a temperature of 110 today without the humidity. That's the warmest you've been since 2011, and it's going to continue tomorrow. All right, check this out. Video from our hurricane hunters that fly into these tropical storms. This is Tropical Storm Franklin last night. Very eerie. They're bumping all over the place. Lightning flashes. This is a very dangerous job, but it is crucial information that we use to forecast these storms. And here is the forecast track, and we expect it to strengthen again and then shoot the gap between the U.S. and Bermuda as a Cat 1 or Cat 2. That will stir up the ocean. We're looking at riptides and high surf as we head in towards the Labor Day weekend, so be careful out there. And we're watching this disturbance in the northwestern Gulf of Mexico now with an 80% likelihood of becoming our next tropical cyclone heading into the Gulf of Mexico sometime in the beginning and middle part of next week. Everybody everybody from Florida to New Orleans needs to pay attention.
Rob
Gerald?
Marciano walking us through it all. Rob, thank you. In Maui tonight, the grim search for the victims of that deadly wildfire goes on. The police chief released the first official list of the missing, 388 people. Authorities hope survivors will now come forward. Mola Langi reports for us tonight from Maui.
Tonight, for the first time, officials on Maui making public the names of the hundreds of people still unaccounted for, more than 2 weeks after those deadly wildfires.
We're releasing this list of 388 names today because we know that it will help with the investigation.
The criteria for the FBI's missing list: a first and last name and point of contact for the person who reported the missing. The devastating inferno that tore through West Maui, claiming the lives of at least 115 people. Tonight, the family of 79-year-old grandfather Buddy Jantuck filing the first wrongful death lawsuit against Maui's main utility companies over the wildfires. The complaint claiming Jantuck's death was caused by the utilities' refusal to de-energize their power lines, maintain vegetation, and their infrastructure. Firefighters describing how the wind-fueled blaze quickly overwhelmed them.
You think you've got this thing relatively under control. You go up the next block, and a whole row of houses are completely engulfed. How does that hit you?
That was my oh shoot moment. That's when I was like, okay, this is something else. And I think we kind of immediately switched to trying to evacuate as many people as we could.
Mola Langi joins us now from Maui. Mola, harrowing stories there from those firefighters, and now Maui officials have filed a lawsuit. Who are they suing?
Well, that's right, Jay. Maui County also filing a lawsuit against the utility company claiming negligence. Meanwhile, a spokesperson for Hawaiian Electric releasing a statement saying that we are very disappointed that Maui County chose this litigious path while the investigation is still unfolding, Jay.
Mola Langi in Maui, thank you. It's been roughly 24 hours since former President Donald Trump turned himself into authorities in Fulton County, Georgia. It's his fourth surrender in 5 months. The big difference this time, the mugshot. So what's next in this case? And what about the campaign trail? Here's ABC's senior investigative reporter, Aaron Katursky.
Tonight, Donald Trump and all 18 of his co-defendants who allegedly formed what prosecutors call a criminal organization have turned themselves in. Fingerprinted, photographed, assigned inmate numbers. Trump's mugshot rocketing around the world. The former president glowering into the camera. Today, President Biden chuckling, asked if he'd seen it.
I did see it on television.
Among the last to surrender in Georgia, former Assistant Attorney General Jeffrey Clark. Prosecutors say he wanted to send an official letter falsely claiming the Justice Department had identified significant concerns that may have impacted the outcome of the election in multiple states.
Did you discuss this draft letter to Georgia officials with the President of the United States?
Fifth and executive privilege again.
Trump calling the whole thing sad.
What has taken place here is a travesty of justice. We did nothing wrong. I did nothing wrong.
But Trump's campaign started fundraising off his mugshot less than an hour after it was released. His Republican rivals now desperate to talk about anything else.
If the election ends up being about what happened in the past, if it ends up being about, personalities and other things like that, well, then Biden is going to be able to sit in his basement again, not have to justify his record.
It's a tremendous distraction from what the average person and the average household is facing. It was all good.
But Tim Scott and Ron DeSantis say if Trump's the nominee, they'll support him, even if he's convicted. Today, Scott was called out by a voter in New Hampshire.
You don't stand up to Trump. How are you going to stand up to the president of Russia and China?
The senator tried to push back, but that voter was unconvinced.
And let's get right to Aaron Katursky in Atlanta. Aaron, a big day in court on Monday. Former White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows asking the judge to transfer his case to federal court. Meadows is one of several defendants who has made that request. What can we expect?
There are 4 defendants so far, Jay, that have made the request to transfer this case into federal court. Meadows plans to argue that he was only doing his job as Trump's White House Chief of Staff. He just thinks he can get a better shake in federal court. As for the district attorney, Fani Willis, she intends to call witnesses, including Georgia's Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger, the recipient, as you know, of Trump's browbeating phone call. This will be the first peek at some of the evidence she has amassed, Jay.
And the former president facing 4 indictments. Aaron, walk us through the legal calendar and his political calendar, and if there's a chance, a very strong chance, that those would dovetail.
They're already colliding, Jade. Think about the trials, just the trials coming up, never mind the legal maneuvering and hearings that are associated with them. The former president has a civil case brought by the New York Attorney General in October, the same month that Fani Willis says she's going to be ready to put this whole case on criminal trial. Then in January, there's another civil trial against Trump from the writer E. Jean Carroll. At the same time, that's when special counsel Jack Smith says the January 6th investigation should go to trial. And it's also the time of the Iowa caucuses, the New Hampshire primary. Flip into the new year a little more, and you have the case about classified documents, the Alvin Bragg's case in Manhattan over the hush money, still in the heat of primary season, Jay.
Yeah, we said it was complicated, and we're not kidding. Aaron Katersky, thank you. 2 dramatic new developments overseas now. Sources tell ABC News that a bomb planted on board before takeoff likely caused the plane crash in Russia that's believed to have killed the leader of the Wagner Group, the same mercenary leader who turned on Vladimir Putin. ABC's Tom Soufi-Burge reporting tonight from Ukraine.
Tonight, a bomb on board that plane likely blew it up. 2 U.S. officials tell ABC News. This new close-up view of one wing and landing gear suggesting the plane did break up mid-air shortly after takeoff at 28,000 feet. With other videos circulating online showing Russian officials dragging that wreckage away, also recovering the plane's flight data recorders, with all 10 bodies of those killed taken away for DNA testing, according to Russian state media. The private jet belonging to Russian mercenary boss Yevgeny Prigozhin, a former ally of President Putin. But Prigozhin fell out with the Russian Ministry of Defense over the war in Ukraine. Today, the Kremlin calling accusations it had Prigozhin killed absolute lies.
Our thanks to Tom for that report. Now to the deadly crash of a Marine fighter jet just outside San Diego. Military officials say the pilot was killed during a late-night training flight. Here's ABC's Will Carr.
Tonight, the U.S. military investigating this fatal FA-18 Hornet fighter jet crash near San Diego.
The plane crashed on the east of the base.
Emergency calls coming in just before midnight as the aircraft was conducting a training flight at the Marine Corps Air Station Miramar Base. Nearly 80 emergency personnel rushing to the scene. The pilot's condition initially unclear.
Pilot ejected. Unknown location of the pilot at this time.
But this afternoon, the Marine Corps confirming that pilot, the only person on board, did not survive. Authorities now opening an investigation into what caused the deadly crash. Military experts say flying in the dark always carries a degree of risk.
When we are flying at night, things are inherently more dangerous, and it is exceptionally easy to get disoriented.
Will Carr joins us now. Will, when can we expect to learn more about this pilot?
Jay, tonight the military is following protocol and waiting 24 hours after notifying the pilot's family before releasing the name to the public. Jay.
Will Carr, thank you very much. A harrowing kidnapping in Arizona ends with a note. The victim was able to get to a convenience store and get help in that store by passing a note to someone inside. She claims she was taken at gunpoint by a man posing as an Uber driver. ABC's Zoreen Shah has the details.
Tonight, the extraordinary rescue. Authorities say a woman kidnapped by a fake rideshare driver slipped this chilling note to a stranger. Help, call 911.
It is a crazy story, but one that we wanted to tell specifically because of what the victim did for herself to help herself.
Authorities say Jacob Wilhoit abducted the woman from a Phoenix area car dealership Monday morning. Her mother reported her missing with Wilhoit named as a person of interest. He knew the victim, but was disguised wearing a wig.
He ended up taking her into his own van and putting some zip ties on her and took her hostage.
Police say Wilhoit restrained the woman and held her overnight at Lake Mead Park. The next day, authorities say the woman passed that note to a stranger at a gas station, saying she was in a blue Honda van going toward Las Vegas.
You know, a lot of us might have just looked at this person like she was crazy, and thank goodness this customer took her seriously, and the customer called 911.
Somebody took her seriously. Zoreen Shah joins us now. Zoreen, is the suspect here facing any charges?
Yeah, Jay, so he has actually not been charged yet, but he is being held on suspicion of multiple charges, including harassment, threatening and intimidation, aggravated assault, unlawful imprisonment, kidnapping, along with several other assault charges. And I should add, deputies say they also found several guns in his car. Now, as for the woman, deputies say she is traumatized. Jay.
Zoreen Shah for us. Zoreen, thank you. A new study says kids are dying by guns more than anything else. According to new CDC data, deaths by firearms increased over 40% from 2018 to 2021. 85% of those victims were males, and half of those deaths were black teens aged 15 to 19. The study also found a correlation between high poverty levels and higher deaths by guns, saying the highest rates of these killings happened in southern states. And as students return to school, COVID cases are starting to climb with concerns about a new Omicron subvariant. It's nothing like last year, but the CDC is still letting Americans know that a new booster is on the way. Here's ABC's Jacqueline Lee.
Tonight, the CDC says a new COVID-19 booster should be available to millions of Americans in just a few weeks. President Biden today requesting additional funding.
It would likely be recommended that everybody get it, no matter whether they got it before or not.
Spikes in cases already spoiling the start of the school year for at least 2 districts in Texas and Kentucky, temporarily closing this week or moving to remote learning. And mask mandates returning where infections are clustered, including Morris Brown College in Atlanta and entertainment company Lionsgate outside Los Angeles. COVID hospitalizations are up, rising more than 21% the week of August 12th, the 5th week in a row, according to the CDC, but still 3 times lower than this time last year. Health officials are urging people to get the updated booster shots when available, emphasizing immunity decreases over time and the COVID-19 virus mutates.
Jacqueline Lee joining us now. Jacqueline, what do we know about that new subvariant?
Well, Jay, the CDC says a newer Omicron subvariant does not appear to cause more severe illness. The agency will meet on September 12th to determine eligibility for the booster. Jay.
Jacqueline Lee, thank you. A lot more to get into here on Prime. Coming up, the shocking death of a WWE superstar. Fans and fellow wrestlers remembering the young athlete. But next, mourning in Maui. Maui in mourning. Weeks after wildfires devastated parts of the island, residents reflect on the impact from tourists during the tragedy and the economic need for visitors. In our Prime Focus.
You have tourists taking pictures of the destruction in Lahaina while there's still bodies there. They're snorkeling off the waters while they're still pulling people out of the waters. It's extremely frustrating. And it feels like a slap in the face.
Whenever news breaks.
The crush of families here in Poland.
Here in Kentucky, no match for the tornado.
From Monterey Park, California, on the ground in Ukraine.
Reporting from Uvalde, Texas.
ABC News Live is right there everywhere.
From the scene of that deadly missile strike in Dnipro, Ukraine.
Reporting from the earthquake in Turkey.
From Charleston, South Carolina, on the 2024 campaign trail.
From Kathmandu, Nepal.
In Truckee, California, covering record snowfall.
Traveling with the president in Mexico City.
Wherever the story.
Here at this airport in Tampa, it's already shut down.
Reporting from the nurses on the picket line.
Reporting from Jerusalem.
Here at 10 Downing Street in London.
Streaming live to you.
Wherever the story is.
Wherever the story is.
Wherever the story is. We're going to take you there.
You're streaming ABC News Live.
ABC News Live.
You're streaming ABC News Live.
ABC News Live. Streaming free everywhere. America's #1 streaming news.
First thing in the morning.
There's a lot going on.
Everybody in that home is okay.
To catch you up with what happened overnight. We are here at fashion's biggest night out.
What's happening today? YouTube has unveiled a new set of policies.
What people are talking about. The new ad campaign.
Fast, straightforward.
With some fun in between.
A real-life Barbie dream house.
A name change for the Wienermobile.
First thing in the morning.
America This Morning.
America's #1 early morning news.
On ABC News Live.
All right, here we go. You ready? Let's do it.
Yes, it's the show America wants and America needs right now.
This is What Would You Do?
Let's go. How are you?
Yeah. So what will you be watching Saturdays on ABC News Live?
What would you do?
Hey, I guess I just found out.
The What Would You Do Marathon, 2 to 6 Eastern, every Saturday on ABC News Live.
My favorite show.
Welcome back. Grief, feelings of erasure, and the need for an economic recovery all still felt on Maui weeks after wildfires decimated large parts of the island. In tonight's Prime Focus, we meet residents who are balancing the need to respect a town left unrecognizable after those fires, Lahaina, while keeping the Maui economy afloat. ABC's Melissa Adan has that story for us.
Maui, once a thriving island. Now, the center of the nation's deadliest wildfire in the last century.
We're not recovering whole bodies. We're picking up ash. Some of it's crumbling.
That same wildfire also fanning the flames of resentment that have been felt for decades, making some feel like tourists matter more than the islanders themselves. Immediately following the August 9th wildfires that ravaged several communities on Maui, efforts were made to evacuate tourists from the island and bar travel. Politicians and celebrities calling to halt non-essential travel to Maui to make room for first responders. Jason Momoa, raised in Honolulu and of Hawaiian descent, posting on social media, calling for tourists not to come to the island.
I know there's been a lot of people who have been bummed about me saying Maui is shut. It's been a week. We haven't even found all the bodies. It's pretty horrific. Listen, no one needs to be in West Maui.
On the road to Lahaina, after miles of devastation, one family with about 10 generations on Maui creating this sign, "Tourists, keep out." We met with Vance Dyson, who survived the ferocious fires and then passionately helped his family make the sign, setting up a chair on the edge of their neighborhood's fence, forming what they consider an unofficial checkpoint.
In this time, it's kind of hard to accept people where, our resources is short.
Vance's niece, Courtney Lazo, helping us understand their frustrations.
Our people haven't even had a time to grieve on our own.
Courtney says their family made the sign because they want tourists away from their pain.
You have tourists taking pictures of the destruction in Lahaina while there's still bodies there. They're snorkeling off the waters while they're still pulling people out of the waters. It's extremely frustrating. And it feels like a slap in the face. Maui is open, Lahaina is closed, respectfully.
This is Maalaea Harbor. We're right along Highway 30, and it's the road to Lahaina. Following the fires, Maui Police, the National Guard, setting up a roadblock just for emergency responders. But now it's open to everybody during a curfew, 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. local time.
People are mixing tourism issues with the emergency and the rescue efforts, so I would argue we have to separate those two.
A general manager of Maui Ocean Center at the Hawaii Aquarium, Tapani Vori, explaining to us how integral tourism is to Maui's livelihood.
We hear that some of the boats are already stopping their operations. They're laying people off. Excuse me, I'm sorry, it's a little bit emotional. We will keep our operations open as long as we can, even if it means we don't have income coming in.
Without those tourism dollars, what do you think recovery looks like?
If it takes longer, it's going to be more painful for more people. So let's keep it short.
A thought echoed by the Lazo family, aware of the economic pressures Maui faces, further intensifying the tension of the island's reliance on tourism and its dollars, making it clear Maui is open, but Lahaina is not. Courtney's family wishes the road to Lahaina would be for emergency responders and locals only, barring tourists altogether.
Because had we not take things into our own hands, who knows how many more people would still be missing. I mean, we had our own people going into the impacted areas, finding bodies, finding people who barely had a pulse. Why are we the ones that are doing this?
With an upside-down Hawaiian flag waving in the wind, a community in distress as they hold on to each other to rebuild Lahaina's future.
There's this thing circulating right now, and it's Maui. We know who helped, who didn't, and who got in our way.
Thank you to Melissa Adon for that report. Still ahead here on Prime, dozens of competitors fall ill after a popular race, the common link among the sick. Plus, it's a certain sign or taste of fall, the autumn anniversary that will have you filling up your coffee cup. And as we say goodbye to the sounds of our summer, we danced to them, we cried to them, but which singles took the top spot? We go through Spotify's list of sizzling songs of summer by the numbers.
So much at stake, so much on the line, more Americans turn here than any other newscast. ABC News World News Tonight with David Muir, America's #1 most watched newscast across all of television.
This is ABC News Live.
The crush of families here in Poland.
At refugee centers
in Putin's Russia.
On the ground in Ukraine.
Close to the front line.
From the capital, destructive Cat 4 storm.
You're along I-5. Boston is in the bullseye.
Let's go.
ABC News Live, America's #1 streaming news. Anytime, anywhere. Streaming 24/7, straight to you for free.
Thank you for making ABC News Live America's #1 streaming news.
From America's #1 news comes the all-new ABC News app. Breaking news, incredible video, faster, smarter, and customizable to your interests. If you love being in the know, you're gonna love this. Experience the all-new ABC News app. Download it now.
I am the happy face killer.
We've got a letter signed with a smiley face.
You know, happy face, smile, and 2 eyes.
He's teasing the police. Like, here I am, see if you can find me.
Once my parents divorced, my father's behavior became more erratic and creepy. I just need to take a break for a minute.
I always believed that the truth would come out eventually. I just didn't think the truth would come out of the mouth of a serial killer.
2020, tonight at 9/8 Central on ABC.
First thing in the morning.
There's a lot going on.
Everybody in that home is okay.
To catch you up with what happened overnight. We are here at fashion's biggest night out.
What's happening today? YouTube has unveiled a new set of policies.
What people are talking about. The new ad campaign.
Fast, straightforward.
With some fun in between.
A real-life Barbie dream house.
A name change for the Wienermobile.
First thing in the morning.
America This Morning.
America's #1 early morning news.
On ABC News Live.
It was the ideal marriage. Little did I know I was married to a man who had done something so horrible that it would devastate our lives forever.
Teacher of the Year is now charged with sex crimes.
Only on Hulu.
He was living a double life.
The shocking story behind a #1 true crime podcast.
Prostitutes, escorts. He even cheated on me the week of our wedding.
Betrayal, the perfect husband.
He had a lot of fantasies.
Now streaming only on Hulu.
When I got sent to Idaho to cover the murders of 4 college students, it was a story that didn't make any sense. 4 students stabbed to death in their beds while 2 roommates were home.
You gotta think to yourself, okay, who's the target and how many people would a man go through to get to his target?
I'm Kana Whitworth with ABC News. This is the story of savage murders, a determined small-town police force, and a scholar of crime. This is the King Road Killings. The full series is out now. Listen to every episode wherever you get your podcasts.
This is where the newsmakers come first in the morning to be heard. America's #1 morning show.
How would your mom feel about your relationship with your brother now?
I can't imagine what it feels like to go from $20 billion to $100,000. Yeah. Are you worried about going to jail?
You write that you had low-grade depression. How'd you get out of that?
Wherever the story, ABC's Good Morning America is right there.
Reporting from the earthquake in Turkey, I'm David Muir. Wherever the story, we'll take you there. You're streaming ABC News Live.
Welcome back. It's the final Friday of August, and pumpkin spice is back on the menu. But before the leaves officially turn, let's officially crown the songs of the summer. Here's a closer look by the numbers. Spotify released their list this week, and with 367 million streams, the top spot globally goes to Ella Baila Sola by Eslabon Armado and Mexican singer Peso Pluma. Spotify noted that the música mexicana genre has grown 430% in the past 5 years. We know that no worldwide list would be complete without Puerto Rican sensation Bad Bunny, and that's why he's number 2. That's where you'll find his summer smashed hit, Where She Goes. Taylor Swift has also owned the summer scene. While her Eras Tour grossed a projected $2.2 billion in North America, her track Cruel Summer cracked the top 5 in both the global and U.S. Spotify markets. $1.3 billion in global box office sales helped push a pair of Barbie bangers through the Bluetooth speakers. Barbie World by Nicki Minaj, Ice Spice, and Aqua, and Dua Lipa's Dance the Night. Number 1 in the U.S., by the way, was the country singer Morgan Wallen's Last Night, marking the first time ever that country topped Spotify's Song of the Summer chart. In fact, 5 of the top 20 U.S. songs this summer, or 25%, came from the country genre, including 3 hits from Wallen and 1 apiece from Luke Combs and Zach Bryan. A late entry that didn't make the cut but has been viewed on YouTube more than 40 million times in 2 weeks, and tonight sits atop the Billboard Hot 100 is Oliver Anthony's Rich Men North of Richmond, a viral hit that even earned a moment in this week's Republican debate. That is as much politics as we're going to get into here when it comes to these songs of the summer. And much more ahead here on Prime. A principal and teacher suspended. The accusations, they singled out black students during a school assembly. Plus, for more than 40 years, this duo has been serenading lovers with some of your favorite ballads of the 80s. Tonight, our Phil Lipoff sits down with the soft rock legends Air Supply about how their hits have stood the test of time.
We've also considered ourselves always a touring rock and roll, because we don't sit home for any length of time. We haven't done so. We've toured every year except COVID year since 1976.
What does it take to be America's #1 news? It takes asking the straightforward, tough questions.
Do you believe that Donald Trump should ever be president again?
How would your mom feel about your relationship with your brother now?
I can't imagine what it feels like to go from $20 billion to $100,000. Yeah. Are you worried about going to jail?
You write that you had low-grade depression. How'd you get out of that?
The news-making interviews.
You said that there were 6 friends. One of them was sick.
Yeah.
Do you have future political aspirations?
Going to the front line.
The search for survivors. How does this war end?
And getting to the heart of the story.
Thank you for being here. We'll be here for the long run.
ABC News, #1 in the morning, the #1 newscast, #1 in daytime talk, Friday nights, Sunday mornings versus the competition, and the #1 streaming news. Thank you for making ABC News America's trusted, straightforward first choice.
First thing in the morning.
There's a lot going on. Everybody in that home is okay.
To catch you up with what happened overnight. We are here at fashion's biggest night out.
What's happening today? YouTube has unveiled a new set of policies.
What people are talking about. The new ad campaign.
Fast, straightforward.
With some fun in between.
A real-life Barbie dream house.
A name change for the Wienermobile.
First thing in the morning.
America This Morning.
America's #1 early morning news.
On ABC News Live.
This is ABC News Live.
The crush of families here in Poland.
At refugee centers.
In Putin's Russia.
On the ground in Ukraine.
Close to the front line.
From the capital.
Destructive Cat 4 storm.
You're along I-5.
Boston is in the bullseye.
Let's go.
ABC News Live, America's #1 streaming news. Anytime, anywhere. Streaming 24/7, straight to you for free.
Thank you for making ABC News Live America's #1 streaming news.
When I got sent to Idaho to cover the murders of 4 college students, it was a story that didn't make any sense. 4 students stabbed to death in their beds while 2 roommates were home.
You gotta think to yourself, okay, who's the target and how many people would a man go through to get to his target?
I'm Kana Whitworth with ABC News. This is the story of savage murders, a determined small-town police force, and a scholar of crime. This is the King Road Killings. The full series is out now. Listen to every episode wherever you get your podcasts.
Fridays. Get ready, America, every Friday.
The hottest trends, styles, and must-have. What's the right stuff to buy right now? I really love that. It's time to buy the right stuff.
Yes!
And save big time, too.
The right stuff.
Fridays on GMA. You're going to love it.
This is ABC News Live Prime.
Thanks so much for streaming with us.
Live reporting, breaking news, exclusives, award-winning, powerful, eye-opening. ABC News Live Prime with Lindsay Davis. Streaming weeknights.
All right, here we go. You ready? Let's do it.
Yes, it's the show America wants and America needs right now.
This is What Would You Do? Let's go. How are you?
Yeah. So what will you be watching Saturdays on ABC News Live?
What would you do?
Hey, I guess I just found out.
The What Would You Do Marathon, 2 to 6 Eastern, every Saturday on ABC News Live.
My favorite show.
The death of a young WWE superstar stuns fans. A principal and teacher are accused of singling out black students, and a pilot goes to great heights to get a beloved doll back to her owner. Those stories and more in tonight's Rundown.
WWE superstar Bray Wyatt has died at the age of 36. His real name was Wyndham Rotunda. Started off pro wrestling in 2010, and in 2014 they introduced his character as a cult leader of the Wyatt family faction, a loudmouth villain in the ring. Wyatt became the WWE champion in 2017. Rotunda came from a long line of pro wrestlers. His father and grandfather both wrestled professionally. His brother shared the ring with him as well. Former ring partner Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson shared a tweet remembering Wyatt, saying he was a cool and unique character. They have not revealed his cause of death.
Everyone's favorite drink is back on the menu at Starbucks in the U.S. and Canada. It's been 20 years since Starbucks introduced the world and their cameras to their now infamous pumpkin spice latte. Since then, hundreds of millions of lattes have been sold, spurring an industry of imitators looking to cash in on the seasonal spice mix of cinnamon, nutmeg, and clove. Haters of the fall-flavored beverage can take comfort in the fact that Starbucks usually removes the product in early November to introduce holiday-themed drinks.
An assembly in a Florida elementary school led to the suspension of a teacher and principal. Black students in the school were allegedly pulled out of class to attend a PowerPoint presentation on low test scores. The assembly, led by 2 black teachers who told the students that higher grades increased the chances of getting into college. Black students who had higher grades were also pulled into the presentation. School has since apologized and said a community forum will be held next week to address the controversial presentation. Hundreds of inmates forced to evacuate Friday morning due to a fire at a state prison in Texas. Video shows crews dousing the roof of the state penitentiary in Huntsville early in the morning. The prison contains about 1,600 inmates and is 174 years old. Also conducts executions on death row inmates. The next scheduled execution is in October, and officials don't expect any delay due to the blaze. Cause of the fire is still unknown. State Fire Marshal's office is investigating.
Union auto workers at Ford, General Motors, and Stellantis voted almost unanimously to strike. The vote doesn't mean there will be a strike, but the union will have the power to call for a work stoppage if contract negotiations break down. Currently, the union represents about 150,000 workers and is asking the automakers for wage increases to offset inflation, increases in benefits for retired workers, and more paid time off. Time is running out to make a deal. The current contracts with all 3 major automakers will expire at midnight on September 15th.
3 weeks ago, the Dominguez family was vacationing in Tokyo. Valentina thought she had all her bags, everything, and everyone.
Beatrice! Thank you.
You're welcome. The American Girl doll she lost on the plane.
Thank you.
And now the new friend she found in Jim, an American Airlines pilot.
My nature, I like helping people. I mean, that's just what I like doing.
An online post alerted a friend who told another friend who told Jim, who happens to fly into Tokyo often. Beatrice was in Lost and Found.
Was he well behaved on the flight?
Very well behaved, yes.
Look back and you never remember the things you have, quite like what you've lost.
Now to a man accused of causing a scare at an appearance by actress Drew Barrymore. He's been arrested for stalking charges. Authorities say Chad Michael Busto was spotted this week on Long Island asking for directions to Barrymore's farmhouse. She was not home at the time. Busto is also accused of approaching Barrymore while she was on stage for an interview in Manhattan earlier this week and trying to talk to her. Now to Lizzo, firing back the former backup dancers suing her for harassment. Lizzo's lawyer says she now plans to countersue. ABC's Stephanie Ramos has that story.
Lizzo is fighting back.
Watch out for the big curls.
The Grammy-winning artist is allegedly planning to countersue her backup dancers who have filed a lawsuit against the singer, claiming she harassed them while on tour. Lizzo's lawyer, Marty Singer, telling ABC News the lawsuit is a sham. Lizzo intends to sue for malicious prosecution after she prevails, and these specious claims are dismissed. Singer also shared photos of the dancers, quote, happily cavorting backstage with performers at a Paris cabaret show during the tour as evidence to support Lizzo's position.
What we're going to have to develop is the discovery. What happened across the course of their employment? What was required? What type of events were happening? What were they subjected to?
Earlier this month, former dancers Ariana Davis, Crystal Williams, and Noel Rodriguez filed a lawsuit against Lizzo, claiming the singer created a hostile work environment, weight-shamed them, and pressured them to participate in parties with overly sexual atmospheres.
It was a very, very heartbreaking experience to go through, just because we looked up to this woman.
Lizzo firing back at the allegations days later, writing on Instagram, these sensationalized stories are coming from former employees who have already publicly admitted that they were told their behavior on tour was inappropriate and unprofessional. The dancers spoke to ABC's Kelly Carter responding to the post.
It completely kind of invalidates all of our experience and our trauma and our pain.
Attorneys for the dancers now responding to Lizzo's plans to countersue, saying Lizzo's threat to countersue for malicious prosecution is an insidious attempt at intimidation and delivers a chilling effect to all harassment victims in the workplace.
This is about empowering people, supposedly what Lizzo stands for, and these kind of tactics, these kinds of brash and really empty threats only serve to disenfranchise people. So we should have a larger conversation about these things, not try to silence or suppress them.
Stephanie Ramos with that report. Stephanie, thank you. We turn to a major standoff in Europe after players for Spain's national women's soccer team announced they are refusing to play, demanding that the federation chief be removed from his position after kissing an athlete on the lips. Federation chief Luis Rubiales kissed player Jenny Hermoso on the lips Sunday following Spain's World Cup win. Hermoso says at no time did she consent to the kiss. Rubiales spoke earlier today saying the kiss was mutual, adding he will fight to the end during an almost 30-minute speech. Now to California and a health warning following a tough Mudder race there. Officials say a number of people got sick with infections. ABC's Kana Whitworth has the latest.
It's the popular obstacle races designed to challenge your endurance and teamwork as you run, climb, and swim through mud. With more than 70 people falling ill after competing in the Tough Mudder course at Sonoma Raceway in Northern California last weekend.
12 of the 13 people that I went with got this.
24 hours after the race, reports of rash, fever, muscle pain, nausea, and vomiting came flooding into the county health department from some who competed.
Aside from the rash, I started to feel like physically ill, cold sweats, like a mild fever.
Videos from that weekend show people crawling on their hands and knees and wading through waist-deep water. Typical for the event.
I really did not think that this was something that I should be aware of. You know, I was thinking I'm a physically fit person, so I can do the obstacles. And when I looked at my skin, I noticed a lot of like blisters and kind of bumps.
Sonoma County health officials say this could be a range of illnesses, from mild irritation to staph infections, or possibly a rare skin infection called eromonas, which requires antibiotics.
Without treatment, it's more likely to move into a more serious infection.
Tough Mudder telling ABC News all necessary protocols were followed in preparation for and during the event, and that it contacted all of the registered participants from the races to seek medical care if they develop any symptoms.
Our thanks to Kana. You may or may not remember a wild story from a couple of years ago when a fake high school football team played the best team in the country. The result was ugly. IMG Academy beat Bishop Sycamore High 58-0. Now there's a documentary going behind the scenes of exactly how this happened.
IMG to kick off to Bishop Sycamore.
Do you want my hands like this, like that?
Just be natural. You don't have to try.
Coach Roy Johnson told us they had a number of Division I prospects.
Too high, tip, intercepted. Thanks in a pick six. Into the end zone. He'll waltz in, and that will do it.
Do I look like a con artist?
The director of BS High, Trayvon Free, is here with me in the studio. Trayvon, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
You talked to a lot of people for this documentary. You talked to players and students and parents and community members. You even talked to the coach. He was a central part in all of this. How did you get him to talk to you?
Honestly, it's hard to get Roy not to talk, if you really think about it. He actually came to us after me and Martin, my co-director, Martin Desmond Rowe, saw the game like everybody else. And Martin happened to be friends with a guy who worked for Strahan's production company, Ethan Lewis. And Ethan called up Martin and was like, hey, we have the coach and he wants to talk. Like, are you guys interested in directing this movie, potentially? And so we got on the phone with Roy, and after like 5 minutes, we were like, absolutely. like, we have to do this.
He's a talker.
Yeah, very much.
So we learned a lot about the students, too, in this film, their stories and their dreams. And a lot of those cases, these were upended by the events of this team. What was it like hearing what they went through?
You know, that was probably one of the hardest things I've ever done, just probably in life, to sit across from these kids and hear them tell the stories of this really heartbreaking and painful experience they went through, because as directors, we also had to get them to a place where they were willing to talk about it in a vulnerable way, because they weren't initially. They were very hardened and, hurt by it, and they didn't want to talk about it. Like, they wanted to, keep that pushed down and keep it away and try to, move forward. And we were asking them to go back to a time in their lives where something that was so important to them was taken away.
And does it have ripple effects to a lot of these guys now?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, a lot of them found themselves in the position where, had they gone to a real school or played for a real coach in that time frame that they had to actually play football, they might have actually landed somewhere. They might not have necessarily landed at an Alabama or an LSU or somewhere like that, but they would have actually had a shot. Playing for Roy meant they had no shot. There was just no way that was going to work out for them, because there was no school, so there was no eligibility. So you were basically playing for nothing.
You talk about the school. A lot of people figured out pretty quickly that this school was a fraud, pretty quickly into that game against IMG. But also in the film, there are forged checks, assaults, and killing geese. I'm looking at it here, everything that's in it. I mean, was there anything that stood out to you and surprised you?
You know, the geese story was definitely surprising. I did not see that coming until Pahokee started telling that story. And we thought that there's no way Roy's going to admit to doing this. And as you see in the movie, he does immediately. But, I mean, it was also kind of surprising to see just how far the tentacles of his manipulation spread, because it wasn't just manipulating the kids, because a lot of people think, and I've seen people say, like, oh, well, like, the parents are dumb and to blame. Like, how could they let their kids, how could they fall for this? And when you watch the film, you get to see and hear how he lied to them too. And as a parent, you're trying to protect your child's dreams, right? But you're also trying to protect your child from danger, from predators. And so when a predator shows up who's specifically preying on your child's dream, it's even more difficult to protect them from that, because you as a parent don't want to say, hey, I know football is your dream and this is your last chance to potentially make something of it, but I don't want to let you go play for this guy.
Well, this story, it gripped the country when it came out and that game happened. And we know that officials in Ohio called for some legislative fixes to try to make sure that this doesn't happen again. The state legislature didn't do anything. Can this happen again, and what should be in place to make sure it doesn't?
This can absolutely happen again. And the reason that the state of Ohio used in not doing anything about it was because Bishop Sycamore used a religious exemption for their school, and they have no governance over the churches, right? And so what we should be doing is looking at just how far that exemption goes when it comes to damaging the lives of not just kids, but anybody.
Trayvon Free, thank you very much. The documentary is BS High. You can find it on HBO and stream it on Max. We have for you now a staple of 80s rock who've put out some of our favorite love ballads, but the hits that Air Supply is known for, they've stood the test of time. Our Phil Lipoff sat down with a legendary pair to talk about the secret to their longevity in tonight's Prime playlist.
Big, bold, beautiful love songs that stand the test of time. Few groups have done it better than Air Supply. From their hits, All Out of Love, and Lost in Love, to every love song in between. Graham Russell and Russell Hitchcock have been recording huge hits and touring the world for almost 50 years.
We've toured every year except COVID year since 1976.
That's amazing.
Without a stop.
On this night in Red Bank, New Jersey, we watched as the audience sang every word. Then we sat down with the legendary duo.
Thank you both for doing this.
We started with how they met in 1975, both in the same production of Jesus Christ Superstar in Australia.
Neither of us had any musical background or any training of any kind. But when we met, we knew something was going on because we'd sing between shows in Superstar and people would come by and go, wow, you guys sound amazing. We went on tour the next day after Superstar closed. We had a #1 record in Australia.
Their self-titled debut album. It happened that fast, and just a year later, they were on a whirlwind tour opening for Rod Stewart. But when the tour ended...
We got back to Australia, we couldn't get arrested, you know. We had 7 in the band, I think. We were getting offered $200 a night to play.
After touring with Rod Stewart?
Yeah, we were nowhere, nothing. I went and stayed with my sister in Melbourne and got work doing jingles here and there. Then Graham said he'd written some songs, why don't you come to Adelaide? And one of those songs was Lost in Love. And I went, that's a monster right there.
And it was. Their 1980 release, Lost in Love, changed everything for the British-Australian rock group, certified double platinum in the U.S. From the title track to All Out of Love and Every Woman in the World. After that, there was no looking back. The next year, they dropped The One That You Love with hits like Here I Am.
Here I am.
3 more albums in the 80s, another 4 in the 90s, and 3 releases so far in the 2000s.
There are bands that last, if they have 15 or 20 years, that's a successful career.
Yeah.
You guys are now on 47, you're selling out shows, you're doing 2 a week, all year long, still.
We're valid in 2023, just as much as we were in 1976.
Making love out of nothing at all, even the nights are better, Every Woman in the World, the list goes on and on. They cross decades because it was you were writing love songs on a guitar with piano and your voices that are as valid as you say today, as relevant today as they would be then. Was that conscious? Was that a conscious decision, or was that just how you were writing and singing?
It's just the way I wrote songs and still do. to have a conscious decision for us was very rare. When we made our first record, which was Lovin' on the Bruises, we didn't have a plan. We really didn't know what we were doing. We just knew that we both loved this song. And when Russell went in to sing it, everything changed, because suddenly it was, you know, beautiful song. Then Russell just popped it out at the end, and he just happened to jump up the octave and sing it higher because he could do that. And in the studio, everybody went, whoa, that's it. So suddenly our sound was created.
And when you write the kind of moving lyrics that Graham does and sing them the way Russell does, the songs become a part of fans' lives, especially during deeply personal moments.
We had a young guy at a show, and he said, I just came out to my dad and he's disowned me. And I was actually thinking about killing myself. And I got put on one of your records or something, and I thought, whoa, you know, this is not worth any of this. You go, wow, this is far beyond somebody paying $20 for a concert and going home with somebody saying, oh, that was great. You know, actually changed somebody's lives.
Saved.
Saved.
In
there
that
you go.
case,
Yeah,
saved somebody's life.
So we don't take that for granted.
And that is at the core of Air Supply, taking nothing for granted and reaching as many fans as possible. Helping them do that on tour, an amazing group of musicians building on those gigantic love songs. With guitar solos, hard-hitting drums, a solid bass line, and a charismatic pianist keeping it all together.
We just love to play, and, you know, we love stepping on stage and seeing people's faces light up. I mean, you can't buy that.
You also can't buy the kind of support they get from their wives. Russell, married to his wife, Carrie. Graham first met Jody on the set of their music video for Making Love Out of Nothing at All. She was cast as his love interest. They later married.
Even the nights are better now that we're here together.
Now in their 70s, the legends are not slowing down in the middle of yet another world tour.
You guys are rock stars.
Yeah, we've also considered ourselves always a touring rock and roll band, because we don't sit home for any length of time.
We've done over 5,300 shows in our career.
And no slowing down. You're doing 100 plus shows a year.
No, we're doing 120.
So many great songs. I kept going, oh, they've got that one and that one and that one. Anyway, that is our show for tonight. I'm Jay O'Brien, in for Lindsay. ABC News Live is here for you all night with the latest news, context, and analysis. You can always find us on Hulu, Roku, the ABC News app, and of course on abcnews.com. Have a good night.
This is ABC News Live Prime.
Thanks so much for streaming with us.